This is 9 News with Mark Burrows.
Good afternoon. We start with a tense rescue operation in the city. A 70-year-old man left dangling upside down in his heavily damaged Hyundai after crashing through a barrier and tumbling 10 metres down a small cliff in Glebe. Our reporter is at the scene and has obtained incredible vision. We'll bring you that at 4:30. Well, crucial trade and security talks between Australia and Southeast Asia are underway as more leaders arrive in Melbourne from around the region for the 2024 ASEAN Summit. Federal politics reporter Claudia Vajoljak is in Melbourne for us. Claudia, talk us through what's been happening.
Well, Mark, Prime Minister of Malaysia Anwar Ibrahim has arrived to a full ceremonial welcome and gunfiring at Melbourne's Government House this afternoon before being led inside, joining Anthony Albanese and Cabinet Ministers for the annual Australia-Malaysia Leaders meeting. Speaking earlier, both countries' leaders reinforcing their commitment to continue a growing relationship.
Increasingly, it is a relationship based upon our economic and benefit that comes from mutual trade and engagement.
It's our interest to give more substance to this comprehensive strategic partnership.
It's the first leaders' meeting to take place during the summit, which brings together majority of the bloc of 10 ASEAN countries that make up our second largest trading partner. The focus not only on trade though, but strengthening our security ties in the region as China looks to gain influence and assert its military might amid a power struggle with the US. Now, Foreign Minister Penny Wong has announced more than $220 million to support countries in the Mekong region, including Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia, as well as $64 million over 4 years to enhance maritime security, issuing this strong message.
We face destabilising, provocative and coercive actions, including unsafe conduct at sea and in the air, and militarisation of disputed features. We know that military power is expanding, but measures to constrain military conflict are not. So these factors give rise to the most strategic, most confronting circumstances in our region for decades.
Mark, more leaders will arrive this evening with talks to continue for the next 2 days.
Claudia, thank you. Now, it comes as hundreds of protesters from the Myanmar community in Australia have targeted the ASEAN Summit, demanding leaders take action against the country's military rulers. Reid Butler reports.
The protesters are hoping to draw attention to the political situation in Myanmar, gathering outside the convention centre as world leaders gather inside for the ASEAN Summit. The group passionate and determined to be heard. Members of the Myanmar community in Australia are fiercely critical of what they perceive as a lack of action from ASEAN leaders after a violent military coup in the country in 2021.
I'm going to tell my people we never vote to the Labour Party because of this Prime Minister. Shame on him.
It sparked a humanitarian crisis leading to the deaths, jailing, torturing and arrest of thousands of civilians.
They kill everyone. Here we got everything. We got a human right here. Over there we don't have a human right at all.
Myanmar people want to be a free and fair election and democratic country in Myanmar.
The demonstrators want the leaders inside to support the reinstatement of civilian rule in Myanmar. There is a heavy police presence here for the summit, but these protesters have promised to be peaceful.
Well, 2 people are in hospital with serious injuries following a crash involving 3 cars and a motorcycle at Marylands. Nasilia Ali has the details.
A delivery driver had stopped here due to heavy traffic when a Mazda slammed into him and 2 other cars just before 8 last night. CCTV shows the hatchback driving down at Burnett Street here at Marylands before it crashes into the motorcycle as well as the car in front of him. The 23-year-old rider was slammed off his bike and onto the ground, today in hospital with serious injuries to his back.
All I heard was a screaming, and then the motorcycle was like, I just saw him fell off.
It was a very loud noise, bang, And then I thought I heard some sort of gunshot or something, but yeah, it was not. And I just came out right at the moment and saw an accident over there.
The moment of impact so strong, a third car was also hit. A passenger in a black Mercedes had to be carefully removed by firefighters before she was taken to Blackdown Hospital. The driver of the Mazda escaped injury and police are now looking into what caused the crash. They say it's likely the 35-year-old will be issued with a traffic infringement notice.
A 60-year-old woman is in hospital with back and shoulder injuries after a 3-car crash on the M4 motorway this morning. 3 out of 4 inbound lanes were closed in Western Sydney's Granville, causing lengthy delays for some time. Specialist firefighters and ambulance workers freed the woman before lanes reopened. A 10-metre wide sinkhole at an industrial complex in Sydney South has finally been filled up. It took workers 48 hours to pump the hole with concrete. The incident on Friday shut down the 2-storey building and halted work on the M6 tunnel at Rockdale. It's not known whether the sinkhole is linked to the tunnel construction. Well, still to come, how about a side of bugs with your meal? Still to come, the creepy crawly protein sources that could keep our consumption habits sustainable. Plus, trapped in a cave in choppy waves during a massive swell, the dramatic moment the swimmer is rescued off Perth. Also, the driver who needs to buy a lotto ticket. And summer in autumn, how long Sydney's hot weather will stick around for.
This is the week that will change everything.
The night has only just begun. Jack smacked my butt and then kissed my neck.
The social experiment turns the screws and raises
You've made my wife feel uncomfortable.
the pressure.
I don't give a what you think, mate.
4 nights of television.
I'm keeping a really big secret.
That
I actually can't do this.
Someone's relationship is going to blow up.
dynamite.
I know what you did last weekend. I'm not protecting you anymore. We will tell him if you don't tell him.
Hey, it's cool.
You're just saying that.
I can see that you need it. So, go get that smoked herring paste. We love you.
You'll always be my first shop.
We know you see other supermarkets, but you'll save more if you shop at Aldi first. Aldi, good, different.
New Fairy 30-Minute Miracle works in just 30 minutes. It dares to show what really happens inside your dishwasher. Fairy rehydrates and breaks down tough, baked-on food in 30 minutes. Miracle. No pre-wash, no rewash. Try it.
My fried rice hack, pineapple.
Always use leftover rice.
Microwave rice and frozen veg.
I love all of it. My tip, do it your way.
Freedom Kitchens are on sale now. Bring your dream kitchen to life with 30% off signature range cabinetry when you purchase a Freedom Kitchen. Plus, get a free wine fridge. Hurry, don't miss out. Only at Freedom Kitchens.
With City Ready Credit, if you're ready to reno, you can get a roll-on. Maybe drop in a plunge pool, nice one, or add a deck and a barbecue. Now that's living. Because with City Ready Credit's great rate of just 8.9% per annum, fixed for 5 years, on the initial balance transferred to your bank account, the money's ready and waiting to go for it. So what about a room makeover? French doors, love it. Ready to reno? Make it happen. Apply now. Search City Ready Credit today.
At the Natural Chip Company, we really live up to our name, using only the finest real ingredients to make our chips taste irresistible. The Natural Chip Company. Great tasting Aussie chips, naturally.
Aldi's Aussie beef stir-fry strips are now just $19.99 per kilo. They're great for Asian, Mexican, Martian? Aldi. Good. Different.
Dishes.
They call me morning fresh, I clean up greasy mess. One squirt is enough to get through all this stuff. They call me morning fresh.
Morning Fresh. Power through mess.
This would be one of the great guesses of all time.
Who will guess their way to a mega Monday win? 5 o'clock on Tipping Point.
What will the dinner table look like in 30 years' time? Some scientists say instead of a Sunday roast, we'll be having some Sunday night beetles instead. To keep our consumption habits sustainable, humans in 2050 might be eating insects. To talk more about this, let's bring in Professor Johannes Lecoutre from the University of New South Wales. Professor, welcome. Tell us, do you really think insects could be the foods of the future?
Thank you for having me. My pleasure. So insects are already eaten by about 2 billion people worldwide around the globe, not exclusively, but clearly as a part of their regular diet. So insects are not that unusual. What I'm always saying to get folks accommodated with what we call the yuck factor, shrimps and insects are very similar biological entities, if you will. Good protein, and the only difference is basically one live in the water and the other are terrestrial animals, if you will. So there is nothing wrong with eating insects.
I hear you, but the thought of, instead of eating a prawn, eating a cockroach, do you really think Australians are ready for this?
No, not yet. not yet. What we would need to rely on initially, I suppose, is good processing to make something like chips or anything like that, or just a seasoning for other meals to provide protein.
You're from Europe. You must have a highly developed palate. Tell me, what are the insects that you really like?
The insects that are eaten by people around the globe are crickets, cockroaches, mealworms. Many insects are edible, but I would say those three are the main representatives. If you're then asking me which ones I really like, I do have to admit I have eaten all of them. I can tell you, if you go to Singapore, you can buy canned cockroaches with a spicy tomato sauce, and they are actually quite tasty, and you have something to eat and to munch on.
Professor, as you say, I think 2050 is a way away from us. I think it'll take 30 years' time before Australians may gravitate towards insects, but it's an interesting concept. I thank you for your time.
I thank you very much. Thank you.
Some dinner ideas there for you. Well, it's been a cloudy day across most of the city today. Right now it's 21 degrees at Sydney Harbour, 20 degrees in our west, and it will be another overcast day in Sydney tomorrow, reaching 26 degrees. Showers will linger in Brisbane, 27 in the nation's capital, 32 degrees in Melbourne. Partly cloudy in Hobart, hot and sunny in Adelaide, Perth fine and 31. Showers and storms in Darwin, and Amber we'll be here a little later with your full weather forecast. Well, don't break out your woolies yet. Summer's over, but the forecast is for hot days well into autumn. In fact, the country is facing an 80% chance of above average temperatures. If that's a disappointment for autumn lovers, it's also going to be dry with lower rainfall also expected. Well, coming up, it's impossible to miss it, but it's been out of action for years. Now, the White Bay Power Station is buzzing with life after undergoing a transformation. We'll show you what it's turned into. Beachgoers shocked as a great white shark washes ashore a tourist hotspot. And in sport, Spencer Leniu gets referred straight to the NRL judiciary as an alleged racist slur mars the Vegas season opener.
From a current affair. I just wanted to ask...
The fake talent agent and her smash hits.
Has this been the best performance of your life?
Where showbiz careers end in tears.
It was all a lie. You did lie.
At Current Affair tonight.
Stone-baked,
golden crust, French-inspired recipe. Cole's stone-baked sourdough Vienna by Laurent, down to just $4.50. That's great value, hands down, at Cole's.
Seriously? Low iron levels can mean low energy. Nature's Way high-strength adult vita gummies help prevent dietary iron deficiency and support energy levels. High-strength adult vita gummies, they are seriously strong.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah.
Cut through the blah to hear more of the sounds you want to hear with Specsavers Advanced Hearing Technology.
Turn off your pie.
No sharing. Book an appointment with our audiology professionals for high-definition sound at low Specsavers prices.
To us at Hellmann's, taste is everything. And we believe great taste starts with great ingredients, like Australian free-range eggs. Hellmann's, bring out the best.
Transfer your existing credit card balance into the Citi Clear Card. And for 28 months, you'll get a break from interest, tipping the balance in your favour. There's way more to a Citi card. The Citi Clear Card. Apply now.
More than just beautiful dance. It's a touch of the divine. More than just legends. It's the beautiful culture and wisdom of China before communism. More than just a performance. It's an experience that awakens the soul. See it at least once in your lifetime.
Capitol Theatre, March 8th through the 17th, shenyun.com.
The Murray-Darling rivers pump life through our nation, to our farms, communities and environment. But water's being overused and the next drought is only a matter of time. We have to make sure there's enough water, otherwise the rivers may run dry. If we don't act, it could threaten our plants and animals, our food supply, and affect the drinking water of more than 3 million Australians. Find out how the Australian Government's plan will restore the Murray-Darling rivers. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Head to Chemist Warehouse and save on big brands like Blackmore's MacuVision Plus $41.99, Neomed's Sinus Rinse Starter Kit or Sachets from $8.69, and Rescue Remedy Spray $21.99. Chemist Warehouse, kicking off the NRL season with great savings.
Gordon Ramsay, back in Australia, cooking up a storm in 2024.
The long derelict White Bay Power Station is an eyesore many Sydney-siders have become familiar with when driving along the Anzac Bridge. The site has just undergone a much-needed facelift, and Sophie Upcroft went along to take a look.
40 years after the White Bay Power Station closed its doors, it is about to reopen them to the public with a very new lease on life. I'm joined now by Anita Mitchell, the CEO of Placemaking New South Wales. Anita, what parts of the original building have been retained?
So we've kept all of the original features of the building. So for the Biennale of Sydney, we are opening up what used to be the old boiler house, and what you can see here is the old turbine hall. And one of the beautiful features about White Bay Power Station is one of every original piece of equipment has actually been retained. So you can get a sense of what the building was used when it was basically generating power for the tram network of Sydney.
It's a massive transformation. What has gone into that?
So $101 million, 2.5 years worth of hard slog of remediation and repair. So you can imagine what a building of this size and scale, it's 100 years old. So it needed new roofing. Pretty much every single thing that was touching the ground had rusted, so lots and lots of structural repair works, as well as removing lead contamination. There was asbestos contamination and what we call biological contaminants, which is a nice name for pigeon and rat poo. So lots and lots of clean up and repair work to get it to the point where we can now open it to the public. The other thing we had to do was, this was an old industrial site, so it really wasn't safe for the public. So we've had to put in new ramps and stairs so that everybody can come and enjoy it. All abilities access, strollers and people with disabilities can equally access all of the spaces that are available for the Biennale and their artwork.
And what can people see and expect here for the Biennale?
So there's lots and lots of programming. Please look at the Biennale's website. There's different talks, there's events. It is a free for the next 3 months. There's artist talks, we have heritage tours, we've got lots and lots of art activations, but pretty much you can just come down and actually see the building in its entirety, but also see it with a new purpose, which is to actually exhibit art.
And 50% of the building has been redeveloped. What do we know about the long-term future of the building?
So for the next 2 years, because the Cutaway, which is another cultural facility, is having its own repair and remediation works done, we are taking all of the things that were in the Cutaway and putting them here. So Sydney Festival and all those other great things that usually happen in the Cutaway, we'll be hosting them here at White Bay. But we'll be testing and trialling and see what works in the building and then developing long-term plans for its future.
Thank you, Anita.
Thank you. Come down and enjoy White Bay Power Station.
A great white shark has washed ashore at a beach at Kingscliff in northern New South Wales. The shark was filmed lurking in the shallows earlier before it beached.
I would honestly expect that there's something a little bit sinister going on. Sharks don't just beach themselves for no reason.
SeaWorld is removing the shark's body, which will be used for research. Well, sports news now, and Roosters enforcer Spencer Leniu has been referred straight to the judiciary for an alleged racist slur directed towards Bronco Ezra Mam. NRL CEO Andrew Abdo has promised to swiftly deal with the matter, with the premiership winner now staring down a multiple-week suspension.
There's no place in sport for these types of slurs. We pride ourselves on being inclusive. It's unacceptable in this day and age. The process will unfold. We're aware of the issue and it's going to be dealt with.
Players from both clubs came together in a heated verbal confrontation in a hotel last night, with senior Broncos confronting Leniu about his behaviour. Manly are still flying high after their upset win over Souths, but Jason Saab could miss a month of football after injuring his hamstring in the dying stages of the victory.
Yeah, it's pretty sore. We just did a test with the doc. The strength is good, but I've never done hemi, so I don't know how bad it is until I get a scan, but it'll be all good. I'll be back in no time.
Saab will have scans as soon as the team arrives back in Australia tomorrow, with Manly and the Broncos making swift exits from Sin City today. Well, Penrith's quest for a premiership four-peat will be bittersweet this season as the club prepares to farewell 5/8 Jerome Luai at the end of the year, but the Panthers believe it will only help drive their title defence.
We've got a little bit of history around the boys who have left. They've all, a lot of them have had that little bit of something just to drive them. Maybe a little bit more. Certainly there's 3 or 4 of them that have had their best seasons in their last year, so I hope that trend continues.
Luai is still in doubt to play in Penrith's round 1 game with the shoulder injury he suffered in the grand final. Cameron Munster has revealed he actually injured his groin and not his calf while in Fiji last week, and is a day-to-day proposition as he races to be fit for Melbourne's round 1 clash against Penrith.
I was looking good for the Fiji game and then slipped in the shower, so it wasn't ideal, but yeah, it's frustrating, but doing everything I can to get it right and see how we go.
The Storm haven't lost a round 1 game in 23 years. GWS knows the challenge that lies ahead this season, admitting they'll need to make some drastic changes if they're to improve on their preliminary final finish from last year.
We'd be silly if we didn't think we had to get a lot better than what we were last year. So I think we're working towards, improving a lot and refining the system and doing as much as we can to, be that team that stands up there at the end of September with the Cup.
The club's emerging leaders had a special visitor pop by today. Cricket legend Steve Waugh addressing the group. Australia's top 6 know they need to perform in the final test against New Zealand, but coach Andrew McDonald insists Marnus Labuschagne's spot is safe despite his lean run of form.
We want the top 6, 7 batters to be performing as a collective. So I think while the rest are performing around that, and you're winning games of cricket, I think the concern levels are fractionally lower. Can he perform better? No doubt about that. Does he know that? He knows that. Is he working on it? Yes.
The second and final test against the Black Caps begins on Friday in Christchurch. Well, Australia has been defeated in the final of the Rugby Sevens in Los Angeles, the women going down 29-14 to New Zealand. In another thrilling chapter in the Trans-Tasman rivalry, the Kiwis proved too powerful and backed that up with some dogged defence to win their second trophy of the season. Well, Manchester City's Premier League time, Burnley's hopes of avoiding relegation are dwindling by the day. A 2-0 loss to Bournemouth, leaving the Clarets in equal last place. And the young Matildas have opened their Under-20s Asian Cup campaign with a 2-1 victory over Korea Republic, but the conditions proved far more challenging than the opposition. The Aussies were forced to battle through thick snow in Uzbekistan, which both teams attempted to clear from the pitch with their hands. Thankfully, no one was injured during the match. Well, Tipping Point is next for viewers in southern New South Wales, followed by Win Local News at 5:30 and 9 News with Peter Overton at 6. For everyone else, plunging down a cliff and landing upside down, a driver's miracle escape from this horrifying crash. It's a stadium that attracts megastars and hosts our biggest sporting matches. But Accor Stadium has a major flaw. Up next, the plan to fix it. Plus, the brave rescuer who battled treacherous seas to save a stranded swimmer. And preparations get underway for a planned visit by King Charles, despite his recent health battles.
The cop who was a monster.
I am the law. Who's going to believe you when I'm a police officer?
Why did the West Australian Police fail to detect the state's most vicious sexual predator?
I remember thinking, I am going to die. I cannot breathe.
The investigation you can't miss. Wednesday after Married on 9.
Some people reckon this is the Aussie way. Sure, but at Aussie Broadband, we reckon there's a little more to it.
Like keeping your entire family better connected with Australia's most trusted telco. Even this little champion. Where did you get this dog? With reliable internet brought to you at speed and a local expert support team that are there to help whenever you need it. Yes! That's Aussie Broadband. That's the actual Aussie way.
The trip to the neighbour's place isn't far. Bard can bring most creams undone. And the thickened cream that stands up to an Aussie barbecue is Buller. Hey, mate. Unfakeable.
Nissan e-Power, driven by electric, fueled by petrol, so you'll never need to plug in to recharge. Now in the Nissan X-Trail, prepared to be moved.
The $5 snack sub box might be Red Rooster's finest offering. Succulent snack sub, golden chips and creamy mash and gravy in a box of rich mahogany. Cardboard. Sorry, got carried away by the quality.
The Rooster's calling.
Do you know who's in charge of this local IGA? Not the owner, Mike. It's Bandit. He knows who'll get what he wants. Because there's a place that lends a hand to every local person. Or pup.
Want 100% Australian-owned energy? Well, the power to switch is in your hands. Red Energy, 100% Australian electricity and gas.
Whatever happened to good? It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, and it's become our automatic answer to so much.
Hey, how's things?
Good.
Your mum, your weekend?
Good. Is good even that good anymore? At the Salvos, we believe good deserves better. Let's reclaim its true meaning. To us, good has always been about making a difference, and good never picks or chooses who it helps. Isn't it time we all remember what good really means?
Dishwashers use water less. Add Finish tabs, clean success.
like a boss. Save more water than the sink. And dishes cleaner than you'd think. Buy a Bosch dishwasher to redeem bonus finish.
A 70-year-old man has been rescued from his car after falling 15 metres down a cliff in inner Sydney. Vicky Jardim has the details.
The incident unfolded around 10 o'clock this morning. Startling security footage has captured the moment a car has plunged off a 10-metre rock wall, landing on the street below. Neighbours rushed out to help the man who was trapped in his car. Nearby workers were first on the scene. The driver was treated at the scene by paramedics and is currently in hospital in a stable condition.
Ambulance were in attendance when we arrived, and we also arrived with police rescue at the time. All three services worked in conjunction with each other to stabilise the patient and the vehicle.
A close friend says they were planning to meet to go to the doctors this morning.
He's good, he's talking, he's talking, he's conscious, but he's pretty bruised up.
Nearby residents say they were startled by a loud bang.
We thought a truck had come, till you look down the stairs.
About 3 seconds later, it was like thunder. So obviously the car come down, crushed it down.
Police are now investigating the moments leading up to the crash here at Glebe and what may have led to the car going over the edge.
A third man has been arrested over an alleged murder plot against a member of Sydney's underworld. The 18-year-old was taken into custody from a home at Gorican on the central coast of New South Wales. 2 others were arrested in relation to the suspected plot last January. Well, the 2024 ASEAN Summit in Melbourne is now officially underway, with leaders arriving from around the region to begin crucial talks. Federal politics reporter Claudia Vidal-Jack reports for us.
The Prime Minister of Malaysia, Anwar Ibrahim, has arrived to a full ceremonial welcome and gunfiring at Melbourne's Government House this afternoon before being led inside, joining Anthony Albanese and Cabinet Ministers for the annual Australia-Malaysia Leaders Meeting. Speaking earlier, both countries' leaders reinforced a willingness to continue a growing relationship.
Increasingly, it is a relationship based upon our economic and benefit that comes from mutual trade and engagement.
It's our interest to give more substance to this comprehensive strategic partnership.
It's the first leaders' meeting to take place during this year's summit, which brings together majority of the bloc of 10 ASEAN countries that make up our second largest trading partner. The focus not only on trade though, but strengthening security ties in the region as China looks to gain influence and assert its military might amid a power struggle with the US. Foreign Minister Penny Wong announcing $220 million to support countries in the Mekong region, including Vietnam, Laos and Cambodia, as well as $64 million over 4 years to enhance maritime security, issuing this strong message.
We face destabilising, provocative and coercive actions, including unsafe conduct at sea and in the air, and militarisation of disputed features. We know that military power is expanding, but measures to constrain military conflict are not. So these factors give rise to the most strategic, most confronting circumstances in our region for decades.
More leaders will arrive this evening, with talks to continue for the next 2 days.
The ACT's former top prosecutor, Shane Drumgold, has partly succeeded in challenging the findings of an inquiry into the prosecution of former Liberal staffer Bruce Lerriman. The inquiry, led by Judge Walter Sofronoff, suggested Mr Drumgold engaged in malpractice and unethical behaviour, prompting his resignation. The ACT Supreme Court has now ruled there was evidence of potential bias against him, but the majority of the findings were upheld. Well, there's a push to build a permanent roof on Accor Stadium to attract more megastar acts to Sydney after rain nearly derailed one of Taylor Swift's shows. Kate Creedon has the details.
Well, just a week ago, the biggest artist in the world was taking to the stage here at Accor Stadium. Taylor Swift performing 4 sold-out shows to 80,000 fans a night. But Swifties attending Friday night show almost missed out when a summer storm swept through Sydney Olympic Park, forcing the evacuation of the ground due to lightning. While the show did eventually go on, it's reignited a long-term proposal to build a roof on Accor Stadium, and the Sports Minister is a fan. Steve Camper is over in Vegas for the start of the NRL season. He was impressed by what he saw at Allegiant Stadium, which has a fixed roof, allowing matches to go ahead in ideal conditions despite the dangerous desert winds roaring outside the stadium. He says if Sydney were to have a similar stadium, it would attract more big-name artists and sporting events, as well as secure the NRL Grand Final beyond this year.
Well, having experienced an indoor stadium last night, I must say it is an unbelievable atmosphere.
Now, this plan isn't new. When the stadium was built 25 years ago, it was designed with the possibility to add a roof later on. And in 2013, plans to build a retractable roof were put forward before eventually being scrapped due to cost blowouts. And cost will no doubt be a big consideration this time around too.
Well, there's been a dramatic rescue off the West Australian coast. Battling through rough seas, one crew member swims to Carnac Island south of Perth, sheltering under a rock shelf. The man, wearing just a hoodie and his underpants, is stranded by the strong waves hitting the rock. The pair is pulled to safety by emergency teams waiting in nearby boats. Well, a Hamas delegation has arrived in Cairo for negotiations on a new ceasefire and hostage deal. An Israeli official, however, has told CNN that Israel is not sending a delegation to the Egyptian capital. The UN warns time is running out, with more than 30,000 Palestinians killed and 85% of the population displaced. A counter-terrorism operation has killed 6 alleged Islamic State group members in Russia's volatile North Caucasus region. The militants had barricaded themselves in an apartment complex where security services found weapons, hand grenades and homemade explosives. All 6 were reportedly involved in previous violent acts. The snow just keeps falling in northern California and Nevada. The extreme blizzard conditions have caused widespread disruption, shutting down major roads and ski resorts. These drone shots from the Sierra Nevada, where dozens of trucks and cars are stuck on a major highway. More than 15,000 customers have been left without power. A frightening moment caught on camera, a huge boulder rolling down a cliffside in Peru, crushing the trailer of a truck. Force of the impact severely damaged the road, but miraculously no one was injured. A prickly situation for a neighbourhood in the US state of Utah, taken over by hundreds of thousands of tumbleweeds. Clean-up crews are working quickly to remove the mess, with fears they could rapidly catch fire and spread. Some mounds of tumbleweeds were so high they buried homes and cars. While the focus of King Charles is understandably on his treatment for cancer right now, Australia is still planning for a possible royal tour later this year. Here's Europe correspondent Edward Godfrey.
Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's office has confirmed that Australia is preparing for a possible visit to Australia by King Charles later in the year. There's been speculation since December that a royal visit has been in the works. It's believed to be slated for October to coincide with the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting happening in Samoa. When the King revealed his cancer diagnosis last month, one of the many questions arising was whether that rumoured trip would take place. Mr Albanese says his government will be engaging with states and territories on options for a possible visit. A statement saying the King has shown his compassion for Australians affected by recent natural disasters, just as Australians have shown compassion and support for the King following his cancer diagnosis. The King, Queen and members of the royal family are always welcome in Australia. The King was last in Australia in 2018 to open the Commonwealth Games in Queensland. He was a prince then. He's made 15 trips down under in his life. The late Queen was the last reigning monarch to visit Australia in 2011. There's no word or confirmation from Buckingham Palace on that possible trip at this stage, and it will clearly depend on how King Charles's cancer treatment goes over the coming months.
Well, the test women can now do in the comfort of their own home. that saving lives as the DIY version soars in popularity. All aboard Sydney's new look ferry fleet. Testing of the Aussie-made vessels is underway. Next, when will they hit the harbour? Plus, Nikki Haley has her first victory, but Donald Trump still way ahead in the road to becoming the Republican presidential nominee. And he caused quite a commotion for climbing a Melbourne skyscraper and getting arrested. Now, the man behind this daring stunt speaks out.
For 22 years straight, the Melbourne Storm has never lost an opening round. Friday Night Footy kicks off with an absolute showstopper.
Doesn't get bigger than this.
Three-peat premiers, the Panthers, and the Storm. Oh, bang! We're turning up the wow.
Let's go!
Friday Night Footy, live and free on 9 and 9 now.
Moving home? Move with Energy Australia and get up to $100 in move-in credits off your first bill. That's right, $50 for electricity and $50 for gas. Now that's a good move. Join today at energyaustralia.com.au or call 139 192.
What kind of crazy life hack is this?
The dishwasher doesn't dry the dishes well enough.
Try Finish Rinse Save.
For 2 times better drying, including on plastic, improving shine and protecting glasses.
Finish, the real life hack.
It's days like these, rediscovering a new freedom, endless fun, exploring with friends, living in a luxury home, in a luxury world-class resort, allowing myself to breathe, and finding myself again and again. This is my time at Palm Lake Resort.
Yes! That didn't make sense. But this does. No Pong, all natural deodorant. Feel fresh all day.
Josh is back at school, but poverty means he's missing out on excursions, essentials, and the extra support to flourish. A little help can make a big difference. Sponsor a child today. Search the Smith family.
When there are issues with your bathroom grout and you need someone to sort it out.
Stop leaking showers and balconies without removing tiles. Visit megasealed.com.au.
Querida María, me harás el hombre más afortunado.
Sí, sí.
¿Sí?
¡Ay!
You can't say no.
After much anticipation, new ferries to replace the troubled Parramatta River fleet are almost ready to set sail. Our state politics reporter Liz Daniels brings you an exclusive first look.
In just a few weeks' time, Sydney Harbour will see a new ferry steaming through the heads. Tonight on 9 News, the first pictures of testing on Tasmania's Derwent River as crews make the final checks on the first of 7 new Parramatta River-class vessels designed on the northern beaches and built in Hobart after the last new fleet of 10 vessels built in Indonesia was plagued with issues, including asbestos found in the hull and the top deck of seats being found to be too dangerous to carry passengers under some of the lower bridges.
This is absolutely critical that we have an Australian designed and Australian built ferry that will deliver a world-class public transport service. We want a ferry fleet that is reliable, also that is built and maintained here. We know that that will deliver a better product, not only for passengers but also for our workforce as well.
Tonight at 6, who she's named after and when you can jump on board.
Some heartening news today about a life-saving test women can do in the comfort of their own homes. Cervical cancer self-screenings are soaring in popularity and numbers are now at a record high. We're joined now by gynaecologist and Associate Professor Rebecca Deans. Rebecca, thanks for your time. This groundbreaking test is effectively putting Australia at the forefront of cervical cancer elimination.
Yes, it absolutely is. It's a wonderful test.
very easy for women to perform, and it's really revolutionised the way that we screen for cervical cancer, which used to be a 2-yearly pap smear. This is a self-collect that you do every 5 years, and if you have any issues with it, then you can present to a GP or a gynaecologist and then have that next line test.
Rebecca, I guess some people may prefer not to do this test on themselves. What would you say to them to encourage them that it's not that hard?
Oh, it's very, very easy. It's a private thing. You don't have to see a doctor. It's just a very, very small swab that you insert into the lower vagina, pop it into a container and then send it off. So it's just makes such a difference. It doesn't hurt at all, and it can really make all the difference for your risk of cervical cancer.
And this must be particularly helpful for isolated communities who just don't have that immediate access to practitioners.
That's right. Particularly in the Northern Territory, we're seeing a big uptake of this, and that's fantastic news. So many isolated communities just physically can't get to see their doctor, or there isn't those services available easily. If we can collect these swabs in a timely manner, we'll save lives.
Rebecca, referring back to the numbers, how many women are missing out, and what is the impact of that? How many women are actually going on to have cervical cancer and I guess not recovering?
That's right. So annually about 800 women are diagnosed with cervical cancer in Australia every year, and about 70% have been women who have attended screening. So we know with cervical cancer, it's very responsive to the screening. We can pick it up easily, and the issue really has been women attending for these screens. And it's understandable. It can be painful. It can be hard to access the old-fashioned ways that we would collect this. But now, with this new technology and this new test, women don't need to worry and fear, and will be able to hopefully pick up the majority of women who have cervix cancer and make sure that they're treated in a timely manner.
And what is the survival rate?
The survival rate is very good if you pick it up early, and often what we'll pick up is not actually the cancer but the pre-cancer. So we can really have a good chance of eradicating this cancer if women use this test, and we can roll it out in a fashion that women can access it.
Rebecca, it sounds like a simple way of doing this and, as you say, is extremely effective. We'll have to leave it there, but thanks for your time.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me.
The French national who scaled a Melbourne skyscraper has now spoken about the stunt after spending a week in jail, and he's expressed surprise to Reed Butler about the severity of the punishment.
Anthony Andolfo shocked Australia when he scaled a 55-storey CBD high-rise last month. It landed him in prison. Today, I asked whether he'd learned his lesson.
I don't feel like I put anyone in danger. It's only my own life.
What if somebody saw you fall? That would be traumatic for them.
Could be. If you think you can be traumatic, don't watch me, don't look at me. And
that's why you're doing it though, for people to look at you, right?
No, I don't looking for fame for this. If you check my Instagram, I don't even have like 1,000 followers.
The dangerous stunt drew quite the crowd, but Anthony wasn't focused on the ground below. This vision is from a GoPro that was strapped to his head, and you can see just how precarious things were up there. How did you feel when you got up there and realised, I'm going to get arrested?
So I knew I will be arrested. It's always like this. It's like the process. So you climb, you've been arrested. Then usually after a few hours you'll be released. Not in Australia.
He pleaded guilty to reckless conduct, endangering serious injury and trespassing, and spent a week in jail, turning 30 behind bars.
I've got a big list of things to climb. I climb also rocks. It's very different, but yeah, of course I will do it again.
We'll have more from Anthony in tonight's news at 6 o'clock.
Well, a car has crashed and rolled in Sydney's southwest. A Toyota SUV slammed into a parked car before flipping onto its roof on Avoca Road at Canley Heights just after 1 this morning. The 35-year-old woman behind the wheel was taken to hospital for a check. Well, the 2024 Republican presidential nomination is now clearly within sight for Donald Trump after more primary victories. US correspondent Lauren Tomasi has this report.
Missouri, Idaho and Michigan are the latest states to be won in a landslide by Donald Trump as the former US president closes in on the Republican Party nomination. These latest Republican primary contests coming just 2 days out from the all-important Super Tuesday here in America, when 16 states and a territory will go to the polls to vote on a party candidate. In a normal election year, this would be peak primary season with a lot of competition. This election, Donald Trump has the race all but won, setting the stage for a Biden-Trump rematch. Donald Trump knows that and came out swinging at the US president, but in a slip of the tongue called Joe Biden by his predecessor's name.
And Putin, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word today. You heard that, nuclear. He's starting to talk nuclear weapons today. I was waiting for that to happen, but we have a fool as a president.
He only has one opponent left. That's former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, who's still hanging in on the race. So Super Tuesday, 2 days away, and it is 8 months until America decides its next president of the United States.
It's one of the biggest mysteries of modern times. And today there is renewed hope in the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. Malaysia's government saying they may renew the hunt for the wreckage. A US technology firm has proposed a new search in the southern Indian Ocean. A memorial has been held in Kuala Lumpur to mark 10 years since its disappearance. Well, traffic on a busy US highway has come to a halt while police chase two suspects that fled on hoof. Two horses filmed by traffic cameras trotting alongside cars in Ohio before being wrangled by officers. Local police say the horses are from their own mounted unit and somehow managed to escape their stables. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is next with Amber. But first, a look at what's happening in tonight's news at 6 with Peter Overton.
Mark, thank you. Tonight, the incredible technology replacing air traffic controllers in Sydney, how it will work and the backup plan if something goes wrong. Plus, cashback for sneaky charges, how you can claim thousands in refunds. See you soon.
How many think getting a phone number is cheating?
What if they're a plumber?
What if they're a plumber?
You need your pipes cleaned out.
The 100, Tuesday after married.
No matter how careful you are in life, anything could happen. That's why you need people you can trust, and you can trust Bryden's lawyers.
Give us a call on 1800 848 848. Bryden's Lawyers. Support is what we do.
Watch out! When foot attacks, strike back the easy way. Dynamo Professional. Its deep clean technology removes tough stains deep in the fibre. For superior stain removal the first time, Dynamo Professional.
180! Again.
Ninja ale. Coming right up. Cheers, mate.
Being a ninja. If it was as easy as using the Sportsbet app, everyone would do it.
As I said, he saved us a spot in the corner.
Yeah, I'm up here.
Nobody does it easier than Sportsbet.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
With a single touch, germs are left behind to grow. Glen 20 24-hour protection helps prevent bacteria growth even after a single touch. Plus, kills viruses including COVID-19. Glen 20 for longer lasting protection.
Here at HCF, we created Flex My Extras, so you can choose how you spend your limit. Spend a tiny bit on teeth whitening or spend a whole lot on physio. Now that's flexible. I know, cute socks.
Now it's me time.
Fancy, but there's a better Bref way.
New Bref Spa Moments. Hygienic cleaning with every flush. Now with essential oils for a spa-like feeling.
Now it's my time to relax.
Bref Spa Moments.
Geez, another bill. Well, I guess I can get this one.
Oh, it's cool. I'll pay it.
No, it's all right. I'm shouting. And done.
Get paid for paying bills. Do your thing.
Need more data to stream, share, and do more of what you love? Get big data with Vodafone. Right now, get a huge 50 gigs for just $49 a month. Make your move with Vodafone.
While your home internet is about to get a whole lot faster and hopefully cheaper, sweeping NBN changes.
Plus, Aussie icon Elle Macpherson joins us. And whatever happened to Destiny's Child, Michelle Williams? Michelle! We'll find out tomorrow from 5:30.
For a nourishing anti-aging moisturiser, try Ultra R4 Restorative Day Cream and Regenerative Night Cream, $36.99 each at Chemist Warehouse. The peptide and ceramide blends visibly lift and firm skin. Live, look, feel fabulous at Chemist Warehouse.
This weather report brought to you by Chemist Warehouse. Great savings every day.
Good afternoon. It has been a cool and cloudy day with gusty southerly winds reaching up to 70 kilometres an hour at the airport early this morning. Temperatures were 3 to 4 degrees cooler than the March average. It only reached a top of 21 today in Terry Hills, 23 in the city, and Kellyville and Campbelltown, 25 in Penrith, Blacktown, Liverpool. But that wind chill factor made it feel several degrees colder. Some rain in the northeast of the state today, 5 millimetres falling in Grafton, 4 in Kempsey and 3 millimetres in Yamba. Parts of New South Wales shivering this morning under clear skies and southerly winds. Orange fell to 5 degrees. Bathurst and Lithgow fell to 6, while Mudgee and Coonabarabran fell to 8 degrees. That's some of the coldest temperatures this early in the year since 2008. Tomorrow we'll see scattered showers and storms across broad areas of Queensland, the tropics and WA. A shower or two on the way for Brisbane, heading for 27, fine in Canberra, warming up to 28 degrees, 31 the expected top in Melbourne. A few very isolated showers in the northeast tomorrow with a strong wind warning around Byron. Most coastal areas will see tops in the mid-20s, heading for 25 in Coffs Harbour and Batemans Bay, 26 in Newcastle and Bega, reaching the mid-30s once again in the west, on track for 33 in Broken Hill, Wagga Wagga and Albury. And there is a hazardous surf warning along the entire coast tomorrow from Byron Bay all the way down to Eden. Let's take a look at Sydney. It will be partly cloudy tomorrow with light to moderate northeasterly winds, temperatures closer to the March average than they were today, heading for a top of 24 degrees in Terry Hills and Cronulla, 26 on the way for the city, 27 in Parramatta and Liverpool and 28 degrees in Penrith and Blacktown. We can look forward to warm and fine conditions for the next week. The city will see top temperatures reaching 28 to 29 degrees from Wednesday right through to Saturday, a warmer 30 on Sunday and Monday, while after a few cooler nights dipping to 17 or 18, it will warm back down to lows of 20 to 21 degrees. Similar conditions in our west as well, some very warm weather, and there is no rain on the radar, Mark.
Interesting, Amber, thank you. Well, that is Nine's afternoon news. Our next bulletin is at 6 o'clock with Peter Overton. I'm Mark Burrows. Have a great evening. Hope to see you tomorrow.
These three players are about to go head-to-head with our machine.